Well, officially for about a year now. So I've worked with the division for about 16 years, but just lately became the director formally. So yeah, it's been a good year. It's been very frantic, fast-paced, but everything's falling into place one at a time. And we've had some really big projects come online, and actually all going quite well as far as development and implementation. So it's been a process, right? So the Division of Conservation in the Department of Agriculture has some statutory responsibility for oversight of conservation districts in the state. Conservation districts are political subdivisions of state government. And so there's a little bit of things we do to make sure that they're complying with things like their budgets, audits, reporting and finance, things like that. But mostly we're providing a lot of guidance and training and support administratively and otherwise to make sure that they're getting what they need to do the best job that they can. Well, I think one of the most important ones that I've heard about at this conference and that I'm starting to learn more about just in the background of conservation is the emerging issue about grasslands preservation. And there was a fantastic session about that this morning at the conference, and I think it's really important for everyone, not just the conservation community, but the public at large, and legislators and everyone that has a role in the economics of this state should know about this problem or the question, the issue about grasslands and how vitally important they are. It's part of the natural biome of Kansas as far as our ecosystem, and there's a lot of changes occurring due to many factors that are hard to all, kind of encapsulate all in one kind of summary of it, but it's important because it is the natural state of our prairies. It supports grazing land, many of the economic functions that are being threatened and encroached by invasive species like red cedars and other types of woody plants and trees that are basically taking over the grasslands and upsetting both the kind of the economics of things for farmers and ranchers, but also affecting things like health issues and burning issues, the taxation and appraisal of these lands as far as how they're used for recreation and things. So many issues that are coming into play with just the idea that, well, it's just some grassland, but it's way more than that. Really important. Yes, absolutely. So it's really important that they, continue to have that open dialogue with county commissioners. The Division of Conservation and the Kansas Association of Conservation Districts is doing everything that we can to, get some support and some financial relief for those districts, especially the ones that have very low population, very low economic demographics and things. So, we're trying, again, to just provide whatever dialogue we can with legislators to, make some corrections about, the economics that they're facing. And of course, since COVID, everything's changed a lot. And certainly the financial situation has changed a lot for local units of government like conservation districts. So yeah, we're in their batting for them. We need their support, and hopefully we're going to have some good ears in the legislature this session that's coming up. Well, there'll be some significant changes, I think, with the new strategic planning initiative. And, it's a very, very good idea about developing this kind of a 10-year project pipeline instead of a year-to-year approach where no one really knows for certain where it's coming or going in the next year or two. So the idea is very sound, and it's something that state agencies particularly have been asking for a long time, dedicated funding and a lot more funding, because I think in many cases, especially with water, it's been somewhat of a piecemeal approach, and this would be a much more comprehensive one that I think will tie a lot of other things together, streamline agency programs, which is sometimes confusing to the public. So that would all be good, good progress. Yeah, well, one in particular that isn't necessarily related to the strategic planning initiative, but it's coming on right at the same time. It's called the High Plains Aquifer RCPP project, and it's really a new, really expanded way for the Division of Conservation through partnership with the groundwater management districts in the state to provide some financial assistance for water conservation that's specifically aimed at the Ogallala Aquifer and other areas of the High Plains Aquifer in west and central Kansas. One thing I could say is, I'm just really impressed by the convention this year, the number of people that have attended, the interest level is very high, and I think it's increasing. The programs that were provided here were so good that, as we talked about, there just isn't enough time to get to every one of the different topics that you'd like to hear about. So it's an educational opportunity, and hopefully the public would be able to take advantage of that in the future. But just to know that conservation districts are doing a lot of really hard work for everyone in every county.